Hey YouTube, Vermont Prepper. What you see here is a picture of my long-lost military pickup. It's been away to rehab in Kansas since January. I was told yesterday that it's ready to come home, so I wanted to give you a quick update on what was being done to it. Stay tuned, it's pretty exciting. Welcome to my world. We're going to talk mainly about military vehicles, solar power, and self-sufficiency. But I also like to live life to its fullest potential. I do this through music. Specifically, I'm a drummer. Music runs through my veins, and I'm also going to discuss the various equipment I use and throw in a few covers. Hope you enjoy. Welcome to the channel. Alright, I'm going to share some videos of the turbo update later on, but I wanted to start out first giving a brief history of events and share some images that led me to send the truck to Kansas where the work was done. If you follow the channel, you all know that I have a 1986 military pickup known as a CUCV, or Commercial Utility Cargo Vehicle. This one's pretty special as it's a dually, lifted 6 inches, and has Humvee-sized 37-inch tires. Now, if you know anything about these vehicles, you'd immediately realize that its stock 6.2 diesel engine would really need to work overtime to turn those tires, especially given that the previous owners switched out the 456 gears that it came with to 410s. They also removed the Detroit locker in the rear. Now, 410 gear ratio just doesn't match well with 37-inch tires. So the first thing I did was have John from Hillbilly Wizard in PA re-gear to 488s and reinstall the Detroit locker in the rear, and followed up with a Yukon front locker as well. You can see a video I did while I was there, and I'll reference it at the end of this video. I was sort of lucky that the truck came with the indestructible NP205 transfer case. So I had that rebuilt and added ORD twin stick shifters, which gave me the ability to have 4 high or low for both the rear and or the front. You can see the shifters in the bottom of this image. I also put modified shift rails in the transfer case, which gave me the ability to run 2-wheel drive in the front only, just in case I throw a rear drive shaft. You can't do this with the stock 205. All of these mods definitely helped, but I found that it was still missing the power that I was looking for. So I bit the bullet and I decided that I needed to turbo the engine. I remember reading on the Steel Soldier forum that follows these and other military vehicles that Banks made a turbo kit for this engine. So I called them ready to place an order, only to be totally deflated when they told me that the kit for the 6.2 had been discontinued. But as luck would have it, after extensive research, I came across another YouTuber that goes by the name CGMR. His real name is Brian. He actually does these custom turbo 6.2 to 6.5 conversions in these type of vehicles. And if you do them properly, they happen to give you much more boost than the old Banks kits. He does close to 100 of these per year. One obstacle I found to be a bit overwhelming at first was that I had to source all the parts. But Brian gave me a list and pointed me in the general direction. So after numerous clarifying emails to both vendors and to Brian, I assembled all of the necessary parts, which included a new upper intake manifold, a new injector pump, injector lines, the turbocharger itself, along with a host of other parts that I'll detail in a future video in case some of you are thinking of turboing your vehicle. Believe it or not, I found most of the parts on eBay. After discussing the project more with Brian, he told me that to hit the target boost of 16 to 20 psi versus a standard boost of 10 to 12 psi, I needed to get a new head stud kit so the engine wouldn't blow up from the extra boost. The issue was that to install this kit, the engine needed to be removed, and that increased the labor cost significantly. But hey, I was already committed, so I gave him the go-ahead. The last obstacle was that he lives in eastern Kansas, which is about a 20-hour drive from Vermont. So I either had to drive or ship the truck there. I decided it was better to ship since I didn't want to put the wear and tear on the vehicle, and at the time it was January, and in Vermont the temperatures are routinely below zero for most of the month. So $900 later, the truck was on its way. This brings us to now, May of 2021, 5 months later. It's finally done. Brian took a few short videos with his phone that I'm now going to share. The first is a video of the engine running for the first time, and you'll see he was in the process of installing the exhaust, which I had dumped out of the rear instead of the side so that it would be less likely to get caught on something if I was off-road somewhere. The other major thing I noticed in the video was that the rear battery was relocated to the front to make room for the air intake. The second video is of the gauges which show the boost itself. I couldn't really make out the numerical value of the boost because of the glare in the video, but Brian told me it was about 16 psi before adjustments. Later on, he was able to see it peak out on the highway at 18 psi, which will give me a significant power boost. Alright, so I know the videos were short, but that's all I have for right now. I will say that I'm satisfied with the results, but I'll also say that it was very expensive. To me, though, it was totally worth it. I mean, this is my forever truck, and it truly is one of a kind. It has zero rust, and I've never seen one with these kinds of mods. Yes, I know some of the traditionalists will be horrified, but I've done everything with the goal of modernizing it with the intent of keeping its character, so you be the judge. I appreciate you watching, and stay tuned for a more extensive review, including the costs and the list of parts, when I actually get the truck back home. Take care, everyone. Smash that like button. Let me know in the comments section what you think, and subscribe to the channel if you find what I do either helpful or entertaining. Vermont Prepper out, and as always, keep prepping. Take care, everyone.